Let me guess. You tried peptides because your energy was shot, get a little improvement, maybe a short boost, and you're back to feeling like crap. Maybe you didn't improve at all. See, here's what nobody told you. The peptides, they're not broken, maybe, depending on which ones you're doing. Your body might be blocking them. You see, there are root problems that once fixed, let those peptides actually do their job and hype up and improve your energy. Or they even end up creating a scenario where you might not even need those peptides at all. And these fixes, they're often more simple and even cheaper at times than the peptides you've been trying to use to fix your energy. Let me get into this one. If you're new to my channel, hi, I'm Dr. Jones, DC, and I've coached thousands of patients on peptide protocols, and I work alongside our medical team helping people break through exactly this sort of pattern. And here's what I've learned after years of doing this. Constant exhaustion with inflammation isn't a single problem. It's a three-part system breakdown. And if you only fix one layer while the other two stay broken, you're working at half capacity at best. That's why your peptides haven't worked. And so today I'm gonna show you all three layers. The hormonal foundation that most doctors overlook, often driven by insulin resistance, the cellular engine that's probably running on empty, and the inflammation fire that's consuming your resources. Plus, of course, we're gonna get into the specific peptides and protocols that we use in our clinic to address each one in the right sequence. Now let's start with the layer that almost everyone overlooks, but it's the reason that your peptide didn't work story keeps repeating. Here's how I think about energy and inflammation. You see, there are three layers that have to be working together to restore metabolic flexibility so that you can actually feel good. Layer one is your hormonal foundation. I want you to think testosterone and thyroid. There are more hormones, but these are the ones that impact your energy the most, built on top of insulin signaling. You see, these set the baseline of how much energy that your body has that it could even produce. If the foundation is cracked, nothing built on top of it is gonna work right. And then layer number two is your cellular engine. So this is your mitochondria and something called NAD+. Think of this as the actual battery inside of every one of the cells in your body. And if your batteries are dead, it doesn't matter what else you do. And then layer number three is the inflammation fire. This is where peptides live. Chronic inflammation is like a fire burning through your resources. Peptides can put out that fire and it can repair the damage, but you got the fire. Where is it coming from? What's feeding it? You see, here's the key. If layer one and two are broken, either one, the layer three peptides work at maybe half capacity. You're trying to put out a fire while your foundation is cracked and your batteries are dead. That's why peptides alone don't fix you. So let me show you what's actually happening in each layer, starting with hormones, and notice how each one quietly sabotages the next. So layer one, like we said, it's your hormonal foundation. And there are two hormones that matter the most for energy, testosterone and thyroid. So let's start this journey here with thyroid, because in our practice, we prioritize thyroid first. Here's why. The thyroid hormone is what tells your cells how fast to run. It's the metabolic thermostat for your entire body. So when your thyroid levels are low, suboptimal, everything else slows down. Energy production, brain function, recovery, all of it. You have trillions of cells in your body. Each of them are activated and dependent upon this activation from thyroid hormones. Now, here's what most doctors miss. You can have normal thyroid labs and still have a thyroid problem. You see, there's something called low T3 syndrome, where inflammation actually blocks your body from converting T4 into active T3 form. Your TSH looks fine. Those are the main labs that your doctors are checking. Your T4 looks fine, but at a tissue level, you have low thyroid and you feel it. Tiredness, brain fog, feeling cold, constipation, classic symptoms. If you have had thyroid labs and they come back normal, at least that's what your doctor says, but you still have these symptoms, this is often what's happening. The inflammation that we're going to talk about in layer three is literally blocking your thyroid from working. And then there's testosterone. See, this one affects both men and women. And by the way, when testosterone levels are low, again, low, suboptimal, lower than ideal, you get lower energy, brain fog, muscle loss, decreased motivation, possibly increased anxiety and depression, lower sex drives. That sound familiar? See, here's the connection that most people don't realize. Chronic inflammation directly suppresses testosterone production. The same cytokines, those inflammatory signals that make you feel sick and tired, are literally shutting down your hormone production. It's a vicious cycle. Low testosterone means less muscle, worse mitochondrial function, and more inflammation, which further tanks your testosterone. And here's something important. See, in our clinic, patients with testosterone in lower ranges often see improvements in energy once we address this hormonal deficiency, this testosterone deficiency alongside addressing the inflammation. But here's the key. What we observe clinically is that if inflammation is still elevated, testosterone doesn't seem to work as effectively. You end up ultimately having to put more testosterone into the person to feel the symptomatic relief. But you see how that's not optimal? You want to use inflammation to make the body more sensitive to testosterone. That's the better way to do it. And the same applies for thyroid. Truthfully, the same applies for all hormone function. Patients can have adequate testosterone levels but still experience symptoms, which suggests that their cells aren't responding optimally. This is why the layer matters. Now, the part that almost nobody checks, your cellular batteries and the chargers that power them up. By the way, if this hormone piece is making you think about your own situation, maybe you've had normal labs that your doctors say, but you still feel exhausted, or you're wondering if inflammation is blocking your thyroid or testosterone. You see, we offer these discovery calls where our patient advocates can actually help you figure out what's going on. You can text the number on the screen, or you can check out the link in the description if you want to explore that. But first, let me show you what's happening at a cellular level, because this is where it gets really interesting. Layer 2 is your cellular engine, and this is where I need to explain something that most people have never heard of. Inside of every cell in your body, remember, you have trillions of cells, you have these tiny structures called mitochondria. Think of them as batteries inside your cells, and their job is to take the food that you eat and all the stuff that it's broken down into and convert it into usable energy that your cells run on. We call that ATP, adenosine triphosphate. And when your mitochondria are healthy, you have energy. You're making ATP, but when they're damaged or depleted, you feel like your battery is stuck at 5%. No matter what you do, here's the key. Your mitochondria need a specific compound to do their job. They need a lot of compounds, but the one that you probably heard is called NAD+. So think of NAD+ as the battery charger. Without enough NAD+, your mitochondria can't efficiently convert the food into the usable energy, the ATP. The lights are on, but nobody's home, if you know what I mean. But here's the problem. NAD+ levels naturally decline with age, and by the time you're over 40, you've lost a significant amount. But that's not the only issue. What we observe in our clinic is that chronic inflammation appears to drain NAD reserves. In patients with high inflammation, we often see rundown NAD levels. It's as if the body is using up the NAD, dealing with the inflammation, instead of making usable energy for you to feel like a badass and go do what you got to do. So you got a double whammy here. Age-related decline plus inflammation is draining whatever NAD you have left. This is why so many people feel exhausted despite eating well, sleeping is all right, and doing everything that they need to do to optimize energy levels. At the cellular level, the batteries are dead and the charger is broken. Now, by the way, if this NAD and mitochondria connection is starting to click for you, if you're realizing that your cellular batteries might be missing a piece here or two, hit that subscribe button right now, because we put out 4 videos per week breaking down these exact protocols, the stuff that most doctors never explain, so that you can optimize your peptide journey. Now let me show you how this sets us up for the peptide strategy next. In our clinic, we see this pattern. In the majority of patients over 40 who come to us, and by the way, you don't have to be 40, just we see it more often, they come to us with chronic fatigue. And when we address NAD levels, patients often report improvements in focus, energy, brain fog starts lifting, that underwater feeling goes away. Now I want to be clear about something. NAD+, it's not a peptide, but it works synergistically with the peptides that I'm about to show you. If your NAD levels are depleted, the mitochondrial peptides can only do so much. And in our clinic, we restore insulin signaling and NAD levels first to fuel the engine, and then we layer in the peptides. Of course, you can do everything at the same time. We just got to make sure we don't forget and only focus on the peptides, which brings us to layer 3, the inflammatory fire, where peptides really shine. So layer 3 is inflammation. This is where peptides come in, and I'm going to walk you through the 5 that we use most often for exhaustion and inflammation. But let me quickly explain what's actually happening here. See, chronic inflammation isn't just feeling off, feeling inflamed, it's a chemical storm. Your body is producing these inflammatory cytokines. These are the signals, things like IL-6, TNF-alpha. They are designed to fight infections, but when they stay elevated all the time, they do 3 things. They damage your mitochondria, they suppress your hormones, and they consume your NAD levels. See how all this connects back to insulin resistance draining the system? So peptides in layer 3 have 2 main jobs. Put out that fire and repair the damage. And they work best after your foundation and your engine are addressed. So let's go through them. Number one is thymosin alpha-1. This one is one of the more extensively studied immune balancing peptides available. Here's what makes it interesting. Thymosin alpha-1 or TA1 doesn't just suppress your immune system like steroids do. Research suggests that it actually balances immune function. We call this immune modulation. The idea is that it can help calm overactive inflammatory responses while supporting immune defense. And studies have shown that it can reduce inflammatory cytokines, IL-6, TNF-alpha, and there's evidence that it may support the function of very important immune cells in your body. In our clinic, we often explore TA1 for patients with autoimmune issues, post-viral tiredness like long COVID, or an out-of-balance immune system where they feel sick and tired all the time. And for patients with autoimmune conditions, I think it's worth considering to see how their body responds. Quick question before I continue. If you made it this far into the video, should I make a video showing you exactly how we test testosterone and thyroid optimization for exhaustion? Not just the labs, but the patterns that most doctors miss. What part do you want me to break down first? Let me know in the comments what would be most helpful to you, the conversion patterns, the lab ranges, the symptom mapping. Share that aha moment in the comments and let me know what you want me to focus on next. So next, peptides here. But watch how it pairs with thymosin alpha-1 if your gut is driving your inflammation. Number two is BPC-157. Now this one shows promise for healing and inflammation, especially in your gut. BPC-157 stands for body protection compound. It's derived from a protein found in your gastric juices, and in preclinical research and what we observe in our patients, BPC-157 appears to reduce inflammation, potentially by affecting the NF-kappa beta pathway, which is a master switch for inflammation, while also supporting tissue repair and healing. Here's why the gut connection matters. A huge percentage of chronic inflammation actually starts in your gut. Leaky gut, food sensitivities, and an imbalanced gut microbiota. These create whole body inflammation that spreads everywhere. BPC-157 may help support the gut lining while also working systemically. And in our practice, if someone's exhaustion comes from gut issues, bloating, food sensitivities, IBS type symptoms, BPC-157 is something we often explore. We typically use oral forms for more gut-specific issues. Now, one important note, quality matters enormously with BPC-157. You want medicine quality from a licensed compounding pharmacy, not lab-grade products from a random website. The difference is purity and effectiveness. This is very significant. Okay, number three is KPV. This one we often explore alongside BPC-157. See, KPV is a small piece of a hormone called alpha MSH. Now, based on preclinical research, KPV appears to work at a cellular level to help control the on and off switches that make inflammatory chemicals. It's like helping turn down the inflammation factory at the literal source in your DNA. And like BPC-157, of course, we stick to reputable compounding sources. In our clinical experience, KPV shows a particular promise for gut inflammation. And when we have patients with autoimmune gut problems or severe digestive inflammation, we often have BPC and KPV together. And the thinking is that BPC supports tissue healing and inflammation, while KPV calms that inflammatory storm. Now, if you want me to make a complete video breaking down the exact peptide protocols that we use for gut inflammation, specifically BPC dosing, timing, and what we stack it with, the KPV dosing and timing, what does the nutritional approach look like, and lifestyle, let me know in the comments if that would be helpful to you. Now let's shift gears here. The last two things that we're going to talk about directly target your cellular engine, and this is where energy can finally turn back on. Number four is MOTS-c. I sometimes call this the exercise in a bottle peptide, and here's why. MOTS-c is actually produced by your own mitochondria. It's a messenger peptide that, based on preclinical research, appears to activate something called PGC-1 alpha, which may trigger your body to produce more mitochondria. More mitochondria means more energy producing capacity. Research also suggests that it activates something called AMPK, which is the same pathway that gets activated when you're exercising, when you're in a calorie deficit. So the theory is that you might be getting some metabolic benefit similar to exercise at a cellular level. Now, I want to be clear, this doesn't replace exercise, but for someone who's fatigued, they can barely move, MOTS-c may help restore enough baseline function that exercise becomes possible again. In our practice, MOTS-c is typically explored after we address the foundational issues. We think of it as an optimizer. Once baseline insulin signaling and mitochondrial stability are in place, we then enhance what's working. Next peptide, this one's interesting, SS31. This one is different from MOTS-c, and understanding the difference matters. SS31 is designed for damage control. Research suggests that it helps stabilize the inner lining of your mitochondria, potentially preventing energy leakage and reducing the wear and tear rust damage that harms the mitochondria. It's been through phase 3 clinical trials for mitochondrial disorders, which is significant for a peptide in this space. Remember, a lot of these peptides don't have much human research at all. Now here's how I think about it. If your mitochondria are severely damaged from things like long COVID, autoimmune conditions, or years of chronic inflammation, SS31 may help support and stabilize them first, then you can optimize with MOTS-c. And for severe cases, our clinical approach is often to start with SS31 to support baseline mitochondrial health, and then you consider MOTS-c for optimization. The reasoning is damage control first, then enhancement, though this order is based on what we see in our clinic rather than a universal rule. So those are the 5 peptides, and here's what most people get wrong. They grab a peptide, maybe BBC157 because they heard it was good, and they expect it to fix everything. Then they're frustrated because nothing works. Now you understand why. Quick bonus compound that I want to talk about briefly, low-dose naltrexone. This is technically not a peptide, but I wanted to slip this one in here. Low-dose naltrexone is powerful for calming down the autoimmune storm, reducing inflammation. It actually works at the brain and spinal cord level for central inflammation throughout the body. This one is so powerful, and why I love this one is because it's extremely affordable. So if you're dealing with inflammation, you don't want to pass on low-dose naltrexone. You want that to be in your stack as well. Now let's bring this all together. If your hormonal foundation is cracked, thyroid conversion is blocked, testosterone is suppressed, the peptides, they're fighting an uphill battle. If your cellular engine is depleted, NAD levels are drained, the mitochondria are damaged, the peptides, they don't have the cellular tools to work with. This is why the layered approach matters. Each layer amplifies the next one. And when you optimize thyroid and you improve insulin signaling, your cells can actually respond to the peptides better. When you restore NAD+, your mitochondria have the fuel to benefit from the MOTS-c or the SS31. When you calm the inflammation with things like thymosin alpha-1, BBC157, or KPV, you stop the drain on your hormones and your NAD levels. And what we observe is that the results don't just add up. When you address all 3 layers together, patients often experience dramatically better outcomes than addressing just one thing, because each layer stops sabotaging the next. And this is why working with somebody who really understands the full picture matters significantly. It's not just about which peptides to take, it's about the order, the timing, and addressing what's actually broken in your specific situation. Now, if you want me to do a complete video on the mitochondrial peptides, MOTS-c and SS31, the protocol, how we dose them, how we cycle them, how we decide which one to start off with based off on your situation, let me know in the comments if that would be helpful to you. So bringing this full circle, at the beginning of this video, I said the reason peptides haven't worked for you isn't because the peptides are bad, it's because there's a foundational issue blocking them. Now you understand what those issues are. Your hormonal foundation, your thyroid conversion getting blocked by inflammation, testosterone levels being suppressed, even normal labs can hide real dysfunction. And then layer 2, your cellular engine, NAD+ getting drained by age and inflammation, the mitochondria running on empty, your batteries are dead, and the charger is broken. And then there's layer number 3, the inflammation fire. Chronic cytokine production, damaging your mitochondria, suppressing your hormones, and consuming your NAD. This is where the peptides really matter and can make all the difference, but only if the other layers are addressed. The fix isn't one peptide, it's a systematic approach that addresses all 3 layers in the right sequence, restore insulin signaling and hormonal foundations, then support the cellular engine, and then use peptides to calm the fire and repair. Now, I know this is a lot to figure out on your own. Which layer is actually broken in your situation? What sequence makes sense? How do you test for thyroid conversion issues or NAD rundown? What peptides fit your specific situations? Make sure you always coordinate this with your clinician. And again, that's exactly what we do our free discoveries calls. You get a chance to speak with one of our patient advocates who will walk through your history, what you've already tried, your long-term goals, and then they're going to help you understand how our team, myself, our coaches, and our medical practitioners can put together a protocol that actually addresses your situation. We'll also review programs and pricing so that you can see what working with us actually looks like. If you're exhausted, inflamed, and frustrated that nothing has worked, you can either text the number on the screen or you can check out the link in the description to book that call. Now, if you want to take a deeper dive into the top peptides that we are seeing the most success this year in 2026, then you're going to want to check out this video next. We'll see you guys later.